Welcome to the Big Pauly live show. Hang on a minute, that's not right. That's better. Now we can do it in style. Hey everyone, welcome to Sunday's live stream. Hope you're having fun. I'm going to bring in today's special guest. He doesn't need any introduction. It's the man with the T shirt. He comes, it's BluJustin.
Hello, everybody. Oh, hello.
Did you see that little intro?
Oh, no.
I was trying to
sort out going live on this one, but I've got a problem.
Right, okay, so we've got the little bands going up along the bottom. So let's bring up a few comments. Just to make sure everybody can hear us on the audio, so just give us a thumbs up. I'm sure we're all right. Who's here? So we've got Sabian's Awesome Gaming. Hello. Gary North says new Doctor Who announced. Don't know if you saw that, Justin.
Yeah, I did. I saw it just a little bit before you put it through. Or somebody put it on your thing. Yeah. I'm in the same position as you, though. I've never seen him in anything because I don't have Netflix, so
I've never seen him in anything. Never seen him in anything. I mean, I'd heard previous things that they were going to go with another woman, or maybe someone older. So it's a bit of a surprise, but it could be a good surprise. But I don't know about the way they announced it, because they usually leave it up to the regeneration, and then you find out who's going to be in. So we've got quite a while.
There are still question marks about whether or not they're going to use the regeneration scene that Jodie shot last I heard, because she's brought down viewing figures so much. People are questioning whether or not that they want to just quietly do it off screen and do it almost a reboot attitude. But
yeah, because I did hear that they were going to do a reboot. They were going to regenerate outside of the TARDIS, which would be the first time that's ever happened. So I don't know. So we'll have to wait until Friday, won't we?
Tom Baker regenerated into Peter Davison outside of the TARDIS.
He did, didn't he?
After he'd fallen off the telescope tower thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's not like I've watched the film quite time.
Those were the years of Doctor Who, eh? Yeah, the writing needs to get a hell of a lot better. Legend Lewis, I hope all is well. Seeing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness on either tomorrow night or Tuesday. Really looking forward to it. Thinking about Dear Jules every day. I know, it's horrible. I'm glad Jamie's keeping us updated. Mr. Millership is keeping us updated as well, but she's still in intensive care and that, but it's a horrible situation. Carl is here, Carlinio9. Hope all's well. Just watched your last video. I'm having a big Pauly afternoon. I'm not sure that's such a good idea. So, have you watched anything this weekend, Justin? Anything interesting?
No, I've been not feeling that particularly well, but yesterday afternoon, as my main sort of doing stuff time, I went down to the Portsmouth Comic Con.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah.
Still got my wristband on, and I took some of the video down there of the cosplay parade. It always used to be a cosplay competition, but they've changed it into a parade now, so they're not saying one person is better than another. Now it sounds a bit politically correct to me. You can't have a winner, you can't have a loser. But it was an enjoyable watch, and sorry about my throat, it's gone again. It was an enjoyable watch, and I got all but about the first 5 minutes of it, something like that, on camera. Now, I don't know whether or not I'm going to have great fun adjusting all that with audio timing issues, because they'll have to have split it. And I don't know what it's going to come out like, because the sun was so bright reflecting off the screen, I couldn't actually see the screen half the time I was filming. So I don't know whether I was actually filming the right bit of the stage.
Let's hope you didn't have the phone on reverse and you was just filming yourself.
I did check that bit. Luckily, it wasn't blazing sunshine, but like it has been in the past. But it was nice and bright enough to sit out on the Guildhall steps, so you've got a decent view down. Which is nice. That's good.
I do like the little conventions that they have. There's a Star Wars one near me next week that's over 2 days. Unfortunately, I'm working, so I can't go to it. The only thing is they've got quite a few guests. They've got about 10 guests, but they're not really well-established guests. It's like, you know, the fourth stormtrooper to the left.
Yeah.
Or someone right at the back of the cantina. Although I do believe the bloke that was Admiral Akbar, he's there.
Oh, so, right.
That's the best we're going to get. But unfortunately, I'm working, so I can't go.
Without any disrespect to her, whatever, I imagine Rose, somebody other, she might be there. She's been to just about every convention.
Yes, she is.
That I've been
she's
to.
On the list.
She was at the one I was at yesterday, but I've already got her signature on my Star Wars copies steelbook. So.
In a couple of weeks' time, I think about 2 weeks' time, there's a big Marvel and DC fan convention also near me. I think they're expecting like 20 or 30,000 people, and they've got all cars from the films, you know, not just Marvel films, but they've got like the Batmobiles and everything. The original Adam West Batmobile is going to be there, plus also from Tim Burton's Batman. I looked at the guest lineup. I wouldn't say it's that impressive, because you've seen Avengers: Infinity War and Endgame, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's Tony Stark's daughter. That's the only guest.
Right.
We're not talking high caliber here. She's asking £30 for an autograph and £30 for a signature. I mentioned it. I showed the picture to my dad, and he says she can probably barely even write her name. So yes, such a big event that we're supposed to be having, I thought there'd be a few more guests.
Yeah, because we used to have one. I don't know who out there knows the Portsmouth area at all, but the big one in Portsmouth is the one I went to, which is down at the Guildhall. That's right near the centre, the easiest to get to station. We did occasionally used to have a really small one at this very small theatre that is supposed to be haunted, where I've seen it. I've been to like a couple of beer festivals at, but it only holds a few hundred people, so it's that small. They did actually get, well, they were supposed to be getting the actress who played Jo Grant from Doctor Who in, but unfortunately she cancelled at the last minute, which was rather annoying, since I'd actually got all the DVDs out for her to sign. It's really annoying when you get down there and they haven't even previously announced it like that morning or anything on the website. Also, I used to have one else at Port Solent, which was what I would call the friendly festival, because there was no charge for entering, there was no parking charge because they've got huge car parks. It's just turn up and this, that, and the other. I don't know whether or not it got too big for the venue or what, because I think they probably wanted to charge, but then they couldn't charge because all the other shops and restaurants that wanted to let people in wouldn't have been able to operate unless you were coming for the convention. But
I don't know if conventions have become too big now, because you get like the big ones in London, and it's just become outrageous with prices. Some of these, I know some of them are high caliber actors, but they charge like £100 to £200 for a photo with them. And even that again for an autograph.
Yeah, I know it does seem to be quite outrageous. I mean, I do understand to a certain extent why they do it, because from what I understand, which I didn't for a long time, was some of them don't get actually hardly any money or any money at all for actually attending, and they have to make their own way there. They pay for and so they might get, if they're big names, they might get their accommodation paid for, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So essentially, their only profit for turning up is for signatures and stuff like that, unless they're a huge name.
It's not like they really need it, though, is it? I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch asking £200 for an autograph. It's not like he needs the bloody money.
Does seem odd, but I mean, I went down to like the one I was at yesterday. I wanted Madeline Smith's autograph. The lady have a couple of Hammer Horrors and Pompeii movie, and all that stuff. And she was, when you got to see her, she was absolutely as nice as bloke. She was so lovely, and she even actually asked me, like, is £15 all right with you? You know,
blimey.
So,
I think a maximum of £30 is enough for any actor, really.
Yeah, I mean, you can go back to the data. Like, if you'd seen them, for example, if you saw someone, even if they were famous, on the street, they were walking down, they just happened to be near your house or something like that, and you went out with your autograph booklet or something and said, please could you sign here, they usually just sign it. They don't actually turn around on the spot and say, sort of like, right, that'll be some money then, please.
Yeah, so it's not really them, is it? It's like their agents and everything. They're obviously they're getting a cut out of it as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Pauly's here. Jamie's here.
Oh, Jamie. Love to see you the other week. Sorry I still haven't edited the video.
I'm sure you'll get around to it eventually, eh?
I have. I so apologise to all my followers and stuff. I wanted to get this in actually during this live stream. I haven't been feeling too good recently. My health's not the best, and post-COVID, I have been sleeping like half the day as well as during the night and everything. So luckily work understands, but obviously it does mean I'm having trouble getting together all the videos that I want to. Like, I want to edit this one from yesterday. I want to edit the meeting up with Kermit's Ghost and Jamie last weekend, and and I mean, I want to do the unboxing of the Mighty Stingray.
Yeah, that'd be really good. Look forward to that one.
Yeah, I want to. I still haven't even shot this week's haul video yet, and I haven't shot the video of what my wife got for her birthday, which I think actually people will quite enjoy, because it's a little bit different than I'd normally pick out. But there are some really nice bits and pieces in there, even though I say so myself because I bought them for her.
Well, I'm sure you'll get round to it. It does take a little time to do a video. You know, life gets in your way sometimes. So far as COVID's concerned, or long COVID, I think we're going to find out eventually. You know, we're all going to have one illness or another in years to come. There's a woman at my work that caught COVID right at the beginning of it, before it was massively known. You know. And she still hasn't got her sense of smell back, and she's had problems breathing and still problems. That's 2 years later.
Yeah, well, I know that I know Kermit's Ghost is in a similar situation. I think he got it after about a year, but even a year later, he hasn't got his sense of smell back. Even though he recommended me a fantastic restaurant when I went over to Brighton recently, I said, it is a fantastic restaurant. Thank you very so much for recommending it. But don't go and pay their prices if you haven't got a very good sense of taste, because it's very expensive and only worth it if you can actually taste the food.
Because I remember on one of his videos, he was standing on the seafront at Brighton in a telephone box or something, and he was laughing that he hadn't got his sense of smell, and it was just as well.
Yeah,
you know what people have been using that for.
Yeah, he does comment on it, so that's why I didn't feel uncomfortable saying that. You know, I knew he still hadn't got it back.
Yeah.
I do feel from it, and I know that he is still suffering in a couple of other ways as well. But and since I only got my COVID about just over a month ago, and I'm on the high risk area anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm still getting breathless and things like that. I'm supposed to have an ultrasound scan this week, and I'm still not sure because I went down to, I went down to meet up with Alan and Jamie Powell. And,
yeah.
And, yes. I've actually got a NHS thing from being too near to someone with COVID from that.
Oh,
it's up now, so I don't think I'll catch it because I've had it so recently. But
yeah, they said.
still...
I think they said, didn't they say? Is it 90 days? I think you've got immunity for 90 days. But having said that, I think it was someone in America or somewhere, actually caught COVID twice within like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and it's only because they had the different strains. You know, they had the Delta, then they had the Omicron.
Right. I think the one I got probably was the latest one, the Omicron, Omicron, whatever it is, because looking up the effects that it had on me and how stuff like that. But
the symptoms. Yeah, I think mine was the Omicron as well.
Yeah,
well, the Omicron XE, isn't it? There's an Omicron XE now, which is the latest one.
Yeah, well, they have to stop using Greek. I was just thinking that they're going to have to stop using Greek letters because they're going to run out at this rate. Because one day
I remember when
they'll call it Omega. That'll be the last one.
Yeah, they used to call them by their names, didn't they? Like it was the Kent variant. Yeah. So Carl says hello to you, Justin.
Hello, Carl.
We have hopefully I'm going to meet up with Carl again sometime in the summer when he comes down to Stacey's mum. I couldn't meet with him last time, which was a couple of weeks ago, because of the whole P&O ferry thing, you know, where they sacked all the work and all the traffic was piling up, so it was terrible to try and get anywhere. Legend Lewis is here, and Isle of Man movies. Isle of Man. I love man movies. No, it's Isle of Man movies. We have Gary, the Blu-ray addict.
Hi, Gary.
Bridget is here, or Bridget. Yeah, Bridget. But Bully Maguire 69. Butts Unplugged. Very nice. Mr. Magpie himself.
Has he just been attracted by the fact that I've got a channel called BluJustin?
Yeah, at least none of us have done what Kermit's done and found butt plugs actually in Poundland.
No.
Dildos. I still remember when he found those.
Yes, I remember those when that appeared in Poundland, and and he pointed out it was quite close to the children's sweets aisle, which would be a little bit difficult to explain if you were a parent.
Yeah. Do you know what? After he did that video, I actually went hunting in some of my Poundlands to see if I could find the stuff. You know, just to do an experimental video, but I never found them. It's just as well, really.
An experimental video.
I'm just going to leave it at that. Hands-on experience, yeah. Magpie says, love how Doctor Strange was a horror. It was such a Raimi movie. Loved it, but still not as good as the Batman. Have you seen Doctor Strange?
No. I went to see Downton on Friday.
How was that?
actually really, really good. If you liked the Downton series and you liked the first Downton movies, you are going to enjoy this one. It is it even more neatly wraps things up than the first movie, which I thought did a very good job of that.
Yeah. I never
But
saw. I've never seen the series and I've never seen the film. Lulu and Claire love the series, but I saw the trailer for the latest film and it actually looked quite fun.
It's you probably do have to know the characters a little bit,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, I don't know, because it's very difficult for someone who knows the characters to turn around and say you have to know the characters. I don't know how someone who doesn't know the characters would walk in and look at it. I don't know how much it self-explains or not, because it's very hard to judge it, you know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my sort of thing, but I'll definitely give the series a try because it's really popular and I might like it. You don't know. Ben's here. Thoughts on now? This is the thing. How are we going to pronounce this? Is it Nukati Gatwa being cast as the 14th Doctor? I'm sure Nukati Gatwa. It's probably not pronounced that way.
I'm sure we'll find out much more over the next couple of days how it should be pronounced. But until then, like give us a little bit of leeway here. We're just doing our best.
Are you up to date with Star Trek Picard? Yeah, I finished it. I've seen the first series of Strange New Worlds as well, which for me is the best Star Trek since Enterprise. It is absolute classic Star Trek. Just takes you back to the Next Generation and the original series. Are you into the Star Trek? Have you been watching Star Trek series, Justin? Yeah.
I'm into Star Trek, but I have to wait until the physical media comes out because I don't have streaming, and also it really depends on whether or not my wife she likes Star Trek too, but it all depends on whether or not that's going to be the choice of the next thing we watch of an evening, because we tend to watch a couple of episodes.
I've been watching, Discovery now for like 4 years or so. The last series was okay. It's not the best, but Picard was okay. There's some nice surprises in Picard. I'm not going to say anything, but the next series of Picard, you're going to get the entire Next Generation cast in it. Yeah, and apparently there's going to be a new Enterprise, so that could be good. But so far as Star Trek Strange New Worlds, that gave me that weird, funny feeling like what I was like when I'd left school and I was watching Next Generation and Deep Space Nine, the episodic Star Trek television show. And the Enterprise, oh my, you've seen the J.J. Abrams film, haven't you? The 2009.
Yeah.
The Enterprise is on a key with that on the interior. It's massive. Yeah.
I should have worn my Star Treks, all the different pictures of the different Enterprises and things on the front, which I had on just the other day. So
no, this is my favourite Star Trek for many years, and I just can't wait to see where each episode's going. The thing with the Star Trek Strange New Worlds, it's weekly episodic, so it's not spread over entire season. It's one episode per, one story per episode.
Right.
I have a super chat in here from. Where are you? Oh, hello. Hang on a minute. Well, I did have one. There he is. Zodwriter. Oh, £5. Thank you very much. Or $5. Thank you very much. Just want to say thank you for all the amazing content. Your shopping videos make me happy. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for the super chat. That'll go for half a Costa. For that, you deserve. Where are we? Hang on, I've got to get your super chat icon. This is going to get splattered all over Justin's face. So, so thank you for that. Where's the comments? Blimey, I didn't realise how far down the page the comments were. Oh, buggering hell. That's the one thing I hate about StreamYard, is when you scroll right down to the bottom to see the comments, you try to scroll back up again and all the comments are gone.
Oh.
So everything prior to 17 minutes past 4 is gone. So if you see your comments have gone, type it down again. Pete's here, Playtendo guy. Who's your favourite characters in the MCU? There's a lot in there.
Yeah. I'll put my hands up here and say, well, judge me if you want, but Black Widow and Gamora.
Good characters.
But I was a bit disappointed by the Black Widow movie, especially because I'd looked forward to it so long during COVID. It wasn't. I accept it was not the best movie that they could have done, in my opinion.
Yeah, we got Wakanda.
They liked it though, didn't they?
Yeah, we got Wakanda at the end of the year, I think, isn't it? November. Still don't know how they're going to tackle that. It's going to be weird. My favourite MCU characters, Rocket. I definitely love Rocket. Probably maybe Star-Lord. I think probably them two. Oh, and this is controversial because I really enjoyed Captain Marvel and I thought Brie Larson was really good. But that's controversial.
We're on the same page here. I was really surprised at I'm still really surprised at all the negativity it gets.
Yeah, she gets so much hate for it.
Yeah, I thought she did the part quite well. I mean, let's face it, as was pointed out, she'd lost her memory, so that's and everything like that. So that's a really good reason for a legitimate reason for why some bits were played a little bit straight and she wasn't emotional, whatever.
Yeah.
So
I mean that film is quite special to me anyway. I mean it's got the cat, which is just like my Bobby, and it was the last film that I saw with Mama Bowman at the cinema. So it's always going to be a special film, but I enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I also thought there were a lot more. I was, kept on hearing all these negative things, but when I finally got to see it, I saw all the ways the plot went. I thought, actually, that's been really quite well done. So I was not expecting that, etc. So that was.
There's always going to be negativity on any Marvel movie,
Yeah, true. It's got to be. I mean, I'm still looking forward to, which I haven't seen. I'm still looking forward to seeing Morbius, and I know that got an awful.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one. I missed that one at the cinema, so I'm looking forward to that one. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Did you see that one? The last one?
Haven't seen it yet. Got it, not seen it. Though I know that people.
That's our life. Really, that's our life, isn't it? We've got it, but we haven't seen it.
Yeah, I think I can say that on so many things, and as I'm sure you can, and I'm sure a lot of people who do this can, and we keep on being told to stop buying things and just watch things and then do your videos. And I'm going, well, I think I've got this beautiful what they call the meme not gifs, pictures from Facebook of somebody asking like Joey from Friends to repeat after them. I have enough videos, but I will not buy any more until I'm going to go out.
Yeah, I think there are so many. I've got so many movies that I haven't seen in the collection. It's ridiculous to even consider stopping now. So I'm just going to carry on buying more. I'll see them eventually, get through them.
Yeah, I've got retirement for that.
Movie Bug. Yeah, Movie Bug James is here. How you doing?
Hi, James. Great to see you the other day.
Oh yeah, of course, because he was with the meetup as well.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And where was that? Was that Southampton?
No, that was in the phrase of Jamie. That was Pauly.
Pauly. Oh yeah, because that weekend, that whole Jamie's birthday weekend. It's a shame I couldn't have come down because I was working for like 3 days on that one, and I just couldn't get out.
That's a shame. Yeah, and it's obviously difficult for Pete Ainsley to travel that far and things like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think he had a op coming up and things. And Southampton might have been easier for him, but then Jamie obviously knew Paul much better, so he could take us to the right places and things like that. So.
Maybe that's where like the next big meetup should be. We do a South meetup rather than right up in Birmingham.
it would certainly suit me. I mean, I can make most of I can usually get to most of the South Coast, even if it involves a train swap and things like that, because we can't drive anymore because of various reasons.
I have to go to Poundland to find someone. Okay. Anyone? Rehan says, I went to Poundland last night. I got American Pie 2 and Assassin's film, The Lady. Oh, the lady said to me, do you want 50 Shades of Grey? I said, bugger off. I've got Pepsi Max and Batman Return on 4K. You can take that film and you can shove it. Richard's here, RH Media. Richard says apparently it's pronounced sooty. What? I think that might have been in one of the comments that we lost.
Right. So I was just wondering. I'm assuming that's referring to what the name of the new Doctor Who actor is, if it's going to be a pronunciation one. But I don't know.
I don't know. I think we missed quite a few comments actually that got cut off, so it could be. Jim Jam's here.
Hello.
Hi, James. Do you plan on going to another boot or boot fair, as I like to call it? Yes, I will be. I will be going back to the same one in 2 weeks' time. I could have done today, but I thought give it a couple more weeks. Maybe there might be something different there. So yes, I will be going back to that one.
I would, if I was in the situation where I was doing that sort of thing, I would very much go with that. I mean, a lot of the time when I walk, for example, into my local Monday market type of thing, that happens just right outside Poundland. Any place or any little stall that sells Blu-rays and DVDs, the stock does not change from week to week. It only changes, if you go back every month or so, there might be a few changes. Otherwise, very much similar stuff. I mean, you could miss a bargain if you don't go every time, but that's just the way it is.
There are the two other options. I've noticed there is another big boot fair down kind of Margate way. It's like 30, 40 miles from me. And I believe that one is about the size of Wembley Stadium. That is an absolutely huge one. So I'm definitely going to try and catch that one. Lulu also told me that one near her in her hometown, Maidstone, they have one on a Saturday and a Tuesday. And on the Tuesday, there's always a movie man. So he always has crap loads of DVDs and Blu-rays. So I'm going to get that one timed to go to turn up at that one. I just want to find 4Ks. It's not too much to ask. No. Media Collector Madness is here. Hello. Hope you guys are all well and good. Yep. Jim Jam says, when we meeting up again, we'll meet again. Oh, stop singing, Paul. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. It's still up in the air at the moment, isn't it? I don't know who's going to be involved. Whether we're going to get, Rob and Magpie, and I don't know. So maybe we'll talk about it sometime during the year. It'd be nice to have another big meetup. He's currently cooking mushrooms at work. He's doing his garlic breaded mushrooms. Watching the chat. Don't burn them. You might annoy the customer. David, he's here. He says, hello, Justin.
Hello, David.
And Dominic is here as well. Jim Jam says, Justin, would you do any out and about videos?
The only out and abouts I've done so far, like I said, I've recorded the meetup with in Poole. Yeah. But I have also gone out and about yesterday and recorded a small amount of material down at the Portsmouth Comic Con.
Yeah,
but
so that's good. So you're getting out there and you're doing a bit in that.
I'll tell you what it really does show me how easy the rest of you make it look, going out and about and recording this stuff and making it all work. I'm thinking, I look at the material when I get it home and it's like, this is such a mesh. It's going to take me hours to work out. Do I do an overdub, do this, that, and the other? Because that takes, if I do an overdub on 10 minutes worth of video or something like that, that's another 10 minutes before I've even started editing it.
Yeah.
So
and as for Jamie, I wouldn't even think where to start when he does his Jamie and Crazy J clips. I mean, the editing on that is insane.
Yeah.
Just to get it all slotted in. So yeah, I think Jamie's really good at the editing. I'm looking forward to the second part of Toaster tonight. So that should be fun.
Yeah.
Joseph Adams says, do you like Miami Vice TV series or The Fugitive, the TV series?
I'm a huge fan of Miami Vice, the TV series. Watched the whole thing and actually blogged a review on every single episode before I got into video stuff.
Yeah. Miami Vice, the original series, yes, I watched. I've never seen the Fugitive TV series, though. I only saw the Harrison Ford film.
I'm the same. I haven't seen the David Jansen original series. I know vaguely what it's about, sort of thing, but that's.
I didn't like Miami Vice movie, though. I think it was directed by Michael Mann. I thought it was too dirty and gritty, and it didn't bring the true feeling of the series.
All right, no, I haven't. Guess what? I've got it and I haven't seen it.
Of course you have.
But I was relieved that it didn't. I must confess, I was relieved that at least they didn't go down the route of Starsky and Hutch and turn it into a comedy. At least it was actually supposed to be a film about, fighting policemen and whatever. But I mean, it might have been. Like I said, I haven't seen it. It might have got too gritty rather than slick, like the original series was. But yeah. I'd rather it be. Personally, I'd rather be too gritty than almost me making jokes at the sense of the original series. So.
I think on the Starsky and Hutch the movie, I think they did a good job with casting Snoop Dogg as Huggy Bear. I thought that worked really well.
They might as well have cast. I don't know what year it was, but they might as well have cast the original actor. He practically has not changed since the antics. I don't know how he does it.
It's like in the mornings when I'm waiting to go to work and I watch a bit of Good Morning Britain and Andy Peters comes on. He's like, 50 years old or something. He still looks like he's in his bloody teens.
Yeah.
Makes you sick.
Yeah.
Nocturne, just wondering, during turning red Blu-ray hunt in CEX, my son said to keep up the great content in case you didn't hear it. I can't blame you. Oh, well, we always like to keep up the great content. Well, thank you anyway. Harry says, thanks, shopping all tomorrow, make videos or Sunday out. I don't know if that makes sense. Butt plugs. I still got butts unplugged. I still have to keep saying that. Will you buy from CEX? I will only buy from CEX if I find something in store. And I will check it as soon as I get out of the store now. I don't really want to buy anything online. You never know what state you're going to get it in.
That's from your what you said. I'm
My
starting
rant.
to. Yes. I am starting to fully understand why people have this attitude, which is a great shame. Well, it's a great shame that it's you even have to have a rant. Why don't they, be more attentive to their customers and whatever? But
even William's latest video, the Blu-ray DVD collector, he had a bit of a rant with CEX as well at the end. So he's had some bad experiences with them as well.
Well, the weird thing is, I will say that when I went into CEX in Poole, I did pick up a few things, and what was really miraculous, or from my part anyway, was that two of the three items I picked up still had those awful stickers that just will not peel off.
Yeah,
but I can swap out. At the worst, I can swap out the cases or something. I mean, I shouldn't have to, but if it needs to be done, I'll do it. But the one that I specifically bought, because all I was really buying it for was the lenticular cover, the stickers peeled off absolutely beautifully.
Oh wow! And you don't want that to mess up a lenticular.
No, I mean, that's the only reason I bought it. It was a lenticular cover that I hadn't seen before, and well, two reasons: that and the fact it was £2, and I probably paid that much for the cover with the lenticular separately anyway.
Yeah, the last two CEX purchases I bought had those stickers on as well that just won't peel off. So I'm having to get the fluid out again to give that a go to get rid of them. I think it depends on the store. I don't think all the stores are bothered. So I think if they're sent new stickers to put on, they'll just put them at the bottom of the drawer and wait until they finished using the last lot.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think I got lucky. It was something new in. They happened to put one of the new stickers on. I don't think anybody was likely to have gone, this is a collectible cover. I'll make sure I don't put one of the old stickers on it.
Yeah.
That would be. I'd like to think that might happen, but I don't.
Joseph Adams says, How I Met Your Father is going to be on Disney Plus. Have you ever seen How I Met Your Mother, Justin?
No, I haven't actually. It sounds somewhat intriguing, but I haven't ever had time to get around to watching it.
It's basically like an updated version of Friends. And now they're doing it again, but from the father's point of view, the bloke rather than the woman. I kind of enjoyed it. It had Alison Hannigan, it had Willow from Buffy.
Yeah. But I was. Isn't there a film, or a series something very similar to How I Met Your Mother, which was all to do with the fact that the chap could not reveal to his children how he met her because she was working for Bletchley Park or something at the time, so they couldn't reveal like the fact that they were in the code breaking business until it was all declassified 40 years later or something like that.
But yeah, I don't know.
Obviously a different thing, or I'm misremembering. I can't remember.
Yeah, or maybe similar. Sod Writer says Morbius is underrated. Good film. well, we'll make our own opinions
Oh yeah,
when we watch it.
But it is nice to hear that some people like it.
Yeah, it's the same, isn't it? Some people like certain films, some people don't like
Yeah.
certain films. It's how it goes. Adrian says, have you those new packaged Star Wars Blu-ray box sets? No, there's no point. There's no point in buying them for me anyway. I've already got them all on 4K. Plus, I have the first 6 in a box set anyway, so there's no point buying them again.
Same. I've got them all happily at the moment, so I'm not rebuying them just for the different packaging. It would have to be something very, very special.
Yeah.
For me to probably come into a little bit of money so I justify it even to myself. It's difficult enough to justify lots of money for upgrades as it is, but if it's upgrading just because of a different pretty picture on the front, it's even harder.
Yeah. Ross Livingston's here. Here's a joke. What is a T-Rex's favourite drink? A cup of tea. I don't know. I don't think the answer's in there, is it? Anyway, let's move on. Luke is talking movies forever. Hi guys, just wrote this now and writing it again. How's it going? I'm here watching and are you both having a lovely Sunday, lads? Yeah, we're having a good Sunday afternoon. Put it that way.
Yep. I'm just glad to have been invited on, and I have had a nice sleep this afternoon, so I'm just about awake enough to be here.
Unless you need a sleep after this, because it bores you to tears.
Yeah. No. That's the exact opposite. No.
Zod Writer says Eternals felt like the third film in a trilogy. It felt like a little mini series all spread out, all stretched out. I don't know if there's ever going to be another Eternals film. Probably not, but I hope they use the characters again and develop some of the characters. Pete says, thoughts on the new Elvis biopic? Have you seen the trailer for that?
I've seen the trailer for that. Looks quite interesting. I know that my wife thought it looked quite interesting too, so I dare say we might be visiting the theatre for that one. So
I think that'll be a good one, because I recently read on a Facebook page as well, on Priscilla Presley's comment. She saw the film and she absolutely adored it. She said they got it absolutely perfect. So from coming from her, it's got to be credibility.
That's pretty good praise to start with, isn't it?
Yeah, and she couldn't say anything better about the actor that was playing him. Was it Austin Butler, I think his name? Dan says, I don't think I could wait until retirement to catch up with my collection. I'm 20, so I've got a good 45 years of collecting before I hit retirement, until they move the goalpost. So I have to astral.
Yeah.
Astral project from the afterlife to work.
Yeah.
Richard says apparently Dennis Waterman has died.
Yeah, it actually, whilst I was watching the screen of this video, it did pop up as a sort of like a news thing at the top of the screen saying he's just died. Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Used to love watching the Minder.
Yeah. And obviously he was great as Carter in Sweeney as well.
Yeah, I never really watched the Sweeney. I think that was maybe I was too young for that.
Yeah, I was, but a friend of mine was a huge fan, and I borrowed all his DVDs and watched them whilst I was working away when I was on secondment. I used to like have a weekly, and used to use my work's laptop for watching videos and DVDs. These were the days when work didn't notice if you put in added extra software to say, like, make my laptop region 3 bleed. They're a bit more cautious now.
Yeah. Legend Lewis says, is anyone going to watch the Bob's Burgers movie in the cinemas? I've never seen the Bob's Burgers TV show, so I probably won't.
No, I confess I haven't even heard.
I've never even heard of Bob's Burger. I've heard of his hot dog. It hasn't really crossed my path that much, to be perfectly honest. I have heard of it, but I haven't never bothered to watch it. Dan says he found Groundhog Day in HMV for £5 on Thursday. That's a pretty good price. That's probably in the sale, isn't it?
Again. Sorry, joke.
My ranking of the MCU Phase 4 films: Doctor Strange 2, 8 out of 10. No Way Home, 8 out of 10. Shanghai, 7.5 out of 10. Black Widow, 7 out of 10. Eternals, 6 out of 10. Both rewatchable, but Eternals is not on the bottom. Okay, so they're all quite high then. Anyway, they're all above 5.
Yeah,
so
that's still not sort of like saying that's like I put these 3 out of 10. They're rubbish or anything. So that's reasonably decent praise for I'm giving these a fair chance and I enjoyed them.
Yeah, it's like Thor: Dark World. Everybody gives that one a hard time, but I enjoy watching that one.
I like it, but anyway.
Gary is here. Gary North, hello. Butts Unplugged says, do Poundland sell butt plugs? Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do. Joseph Adams says, I try CEX in Bristol, big one. I want to find rare DVDs. The trouble with CEX and DVDs is they're going to be scratched to shit, aren't they, mainly? Blu-rays you're all right with because they very rarely get scratched, but DVDs, ugh. Here's an interesting one from Dan. If you could do a Blu-ray hunt with any internet celebrity outside the BlueTube community, who would it be? That is a bloody good question. Wow.
Outside the BlueTube community.
Yeah, so nothing to do with us tube. Wow.
I would go with Anexia.
Ooh.
She's a professional cosplayer who does a fantastic Black Cat. She does a fantastic Poison Ivy and
so she could come dressed up. She could come dressed up on your Blu-ray hunt.
So if she was on a Blu-ray hunt, A, she could be dressed up, and B, she could be looking for Blu-rays to give her ideas for her next dress up.
I would have to say,
so nice to talk to too.
I would have to say the Mac Master, who's a food kind of food critic. He goes around trying fry-ups and fish and chips. I've only just recently got into him over the last couple of months, but me and my dad watch him every night on YouTube. And his videos are really good. He always has so many good sayings. And I think it would be quite fun, actually, going on a Blu-ray hunt with him. It'd be forever saying controversial. Chris Quilly, I don't know what that is. Chris Blog, what club member? Edit Jerry Therma club member. What the bloody hell is that? That's cropped up a few times. I don't know what that is. That rubbish is. The Movie Cheer podcast. Are you looking forward to the Obi-Wan show? You don't do streaming, do you, Justin?
No, I'm sure I shall. I'm sure I shall acquire it by some other method.
There's always other methods.
It might come into my possession somehow, as if by magic.
Just like that.
Yes.
Joseph says there needs to be more staff in Greg's. Yes, there do, especially on a bank holiday, and I want my sausage roll. 2 bloody members of staff. Rob the Bobs is here. Good afternoon, Paulie and Justin. Currently listening while having a huge reorganise of the Blu-ray collection. Fantastic. No, that one goes there.
I'm going to have to have a huge reorganise, but the point is, before I have a huge reorganise, I'm going to have more shelves put up, because I can't reorganise because of lots of the stuff that needs reorganising is still in boxes from when I bought it. It won't fit, and that's the problem. In the old days, it was relatively simple. I'll put it in here. And occasionally I did a little bit of an alphabetical thing if they wouldn't fit on that shelf. But
yeah,
I've got multiple shelves full still in boxes now from when I bought them. And I've got no idea where to find them when I want to watch them, and it's getting really bad.
That's what was happening with me. None of my stuff was in any kind of order. You know, if I wanted to find a film, I just have to go through all of the shelves to try and find it. And then we had the opportunity, because I had to clear everything out of the rooms for our new boiler system to be installed, and that gave me an opportunity to get a couple more shelving units, reorganise it, put it all into alphabetical order. So now everything is numbered 0 right through to, and goes through to Z. So I know where everything is. The only problem is that when I get another Blu-ray, I've got to shift everything along so that I can slot it in.
When I was like that, I tried to leave sort of like a few Blu-rays, spaces per shelf, so it wouldn't happen regularly. But I don't know how it happened. It always seemed to be the case that 1 week's releases all used to begin with the letter S. You bought all those, and
so it completely buggers it up.
Yeah.
But, I've left a lot of space at the end, so it's always easy just to remove them, move them along 1 or 2 spaces. It's just, hopefully I don't run out of space at the end, because I really can't buy another shelving unit. I really have nowhere to put another shelving unit. Otherwise, I'll probably have to start taking steelbooks out and just putting magnets on the back and sticking them all over the wall. Which apparently looks good, actually. Someone did that in America.
Yeah, there's one in Australia as well who did that. Yeah. But I obviously am so jealous of Alan's new shelving and stuff.
I know. Wow.
Yeah. But my plans I'm going to try and see. I've worked out if it should theoretically work, but I'm going to try and see if I can move up my shelves a couple of notches on the brackets that they're on, if they'll come free all in one go without breaking, and then that way I think I can move them up enough. If I move up, like each one moves up a couple of things, I can get new ones and put another shelf, at least one shelf underneath.
Yeah. Well, do you know what I did? These black cabinet units that I've got in here, I bought them from Argos. They were about £25. I don't think they sell them now. But what I did, because you get one fixed shelf in the middle and then you get all the other removable ones, there's such a large gap between the fixed shelves.
Yeah.
And I just drilled a couple of holes, measured it all out, drilled a couple of holes. And then I looked on Facebook Marketplace, and found a couple of battered old Argos units, and I just said, I only want the shelves, can I come and collect the shelves? So I've got extra shelves for them. So I've managed to turn what was really like a 5-shelf unit into like a 7-shelf unit.
Yeah, I did those sort of like brackets on a wall type thing that I did from scratch. So they're good, but I designed them for the height of DVDs. And now that I've got at least one and a half walls of Blu-rays, I can move those. Theoretically, if I can move on those a little bit and narrow them, I can get more in. But the other options which I'm having to consider, is to go, well, apart from the DVDs that are stuff that I know I want to be able to watch because I cannot get it on Blu-ray and replace it, I might have to say, right, I'm going to box up the DVD section of that wall and put those, I can put them in boxes but in alphabetical order so I can find them if I need them, put those in the garage and start using this new half of the wall Blu-rays as well, because that's what I'm 99% getting now, Blu-rays and 4Ks. So obviously that's where I need the space.
And Alan built all his own, didn't he? He didn't buy them from Argus or...
Well, yeah, you know.
He just built the whole lot himself.
I know. I'm very jealous of people who are able to do that themselves. I am useless
doing that. He should start a cinema building system, service.
Yeah. I've got a neighbour like that. I've got a neighbour like that though. It's like if you can ask him to help you out with anything DIY, he'll sort of like suddenly turn around and make it look like he was born to do it, you know. Just like, oh yeah, just zzz, all went up, no problems.
Yeah, and I have a go in the shelves like that.
That's me, yeah.
Oswald the Cat says, have you seen the movie Bussy? Is that Bussy or Bussy? I don't know. Bussy. I've never heard of it.
I'm afraid the answer would definitely be no, if that's the name of the movie.
Yeah. Never heard of that. Adrian says, do you ever watch the Talking Pictures TV channel? No, I don't. I have heard of it though, but I don't know what they put on it. Is it old films or is it documentaries? I don't really know. Dan says, I'm actually hyped for the July B&M 50% off Criterion sale, planning on getting a region fee player, and my mum has a friend who'll be the middleman for getting my order to me. What's B&N? July B&N. B&N.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, yes. Yeah, we don't really have a 50% off sale over here, do we? They just come down in price a little bit in HMV. That's about it.
Yeah. That size of it.
Yeah, I don't really buy that many Criterions anyway. They're all, to quote my mum, they're all arty-farty.
Highbrow.
Highbrow. That's the proper term, is it? Yeah.
I think
I've only got The Irishman and maybe Scorsese shorts. That's the only ones that I've got.
I think that they're not always though. I mean, it was on DVD, but it was a Criterion release, I think. Was The Rock, but with Nick Cage in it.
Like, it was. Yeah.
That Criterion was one of my first Criterion purchases because, like, I love that film. I really love that film.
Wasn't Armageddon on Criterion on DVD as well? Back in the day.
I don't know. It might have been.
Because it had one of those double thick. The other one I've got is the thin red line. Is it? I think it's the thin red line. The war film.
That's the is it Vietnam or Korea war film? Something like that.
I always get that mixed up with the thin blue line. That's the TV series, isn't it?
The TV series with Mr. B.
Rowan Atkinson. Yeah, a little bit different. Dan says ranting about shops is all fine and dandy as it's directed at people who can make the changes, i.e. corporate. If you, however, start ranting at a shop worker trying to make a few bob, then they're just following the rules. That's inexcusable. Yeah, I mean, it's the same when you go to like an airport. If you complain about a flight, you see people really shouting and slagging off the worker behind the counter, but really they're not slagging off person behind the counter. They're slagging off the company, but it's not good for the person behind the counter.
No, agreed. I don't know about any particular situation about in your job. I mean, why are people shouting at you down the phone or anything like that? I never shout at people. I know, I'm sure you will. Yeah, pointless. But I don't shout at people down the phone. Well, unless they're scammers, which case I give them a bit of an earful. But no, absolutely. I do agree in general. However, they might be trying to earn a few bucks, but if they're earning a few bucks behind the counter in CEX by not following the corporate line, which is now to put proper stickers on for people who want them, if they're cutting corners by not doing it, well, to be fair, they do deserve a bit of criticism for not.
If they show you attitude, or they've got a I can't give a toss kind of attitude, then it's you're very well to direct it directly at them, because it's like they don't really want to be there and they really can't be bothered to serve you, and that's not a company problem. That's them being twats.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't. There's somebody in HMV the other week who actually was bending over backwards to help me from behind the counter and stuff like that. They didn't actually help, but I still thanked because found out that either it wasn't on Blu-ray or what they got in stock was the film instead of the TV series or something like that. But they couldn't have been more helpful. And I still made sure that they knew I was thankful, even though they couldn't help me, because I mean it makes a difference. I know it certainly makes a difference in my office.
It showed that they were doing their job and they were looking for you, rather than saying, no, we haven't got it.
Yeah, like they only check the system. It makes a difference to me when like someone in my office turns around and says, we appreciate the effort that you put in and stuff like that. So even if they then turn around and say, oh, by the way, this is all wrong, though.
Yeah. I just had a message come up here. I think it's Jamie.
Yeah.
He's Toaster Part 2 pre-party video. I didn't know he was doing a pre-party. So that should be fine. Oswald the Cat. Can you give a shout out to mate Brandon Gray, the hardest Morrison's worker in the Southwest? Sounds like a cowboy. Yes, I'll give a shout out to Brandon Gray. Get those buns cooking in the oven. Got this person who knows some people. We want to shout out to Andy with now and Murdo McGeorge. I'm tempted to triple dip on X from A24. Love that film. Got the EIV release from the UK on pre-order despite hating the label, and I'll probably get both German 4K media books or at least the leg one. Okay. I don't know about X. I haven't seen that, so I don't know much about that film. Adrian says, I wonder if the new Doctor Who will have new companions and a redesigned TARDIS interior. Probably. It gives them an excuse to do a bit of rebuilding, doesn't it? Dan says, I never buy more than one copy of a film, by the way. You don't want to come here then. I've got about 7 copies of Force Awakens.
Well, yeah, I do try to resist, but sometimes it's just impossible. They got really nice steelbook sets, or it's your favourite film or something like that. I do have multiple copies of.
Yeah.
A few things like Blade Runner. I've got Titans of Cult 4K. I've got the other specialist steelbook 4Ks and all that sort of
We've got to try and tell people it's not just about the movie; it's about the packaging. A lot of people don't.
No,
John says no. DVDs from CEX are normally not scratched. Well, you must have a really lucky CEX.
Yeah. I think it really does depend on your I think we both said it, haven't we? That whatever corporate says, etc., it's very much a franchise, and it's very much down to how the particular manager and staff run their own CEXs.
Yeah.
Some of them will say, actually, this is scratched. We don't particularly want to take it.
Yeah.
And some of them will say, we'll warn you about it and things like that. And others
It's like,
will just say whatever state it's in, they'll just put it at the standard price, and there you go.
Yeah, it's like what was mentioned. There should be a grading system on media as well, as well as like electronics.
Yeah,
they don't have a grading system on media, so you don't know what state you're going to get it in if you order it.
No, and I the other thing I was going to suggest was that, I mean, I have no problem with them doing their reprinted covers and things like that, because people do bring them to them without the original covers. Why? I don't know, because that would never happen if it was me. But I don't mind that. But if you're going to sell something online and somebody can't come in to look at it, then you should have a little box ticked as not original cover and things like that. And it
should have said, when I bought that Dexter online, it should have said it's a reprinted cover or reproduction.
It's absolutely right.
Especially for £30, you think it's the original.
Yeah. No, 100% agree. They shouldn't. There should be something that enables you to find out online.
It seems CEX is all over the place.
Yeah.
Winslow says, how easy is it to send an online CEX order back? I want to order a Blu-ray box set, but don't want to end up stuck with it. I should imagine it's easy. Probably the best thing to do is just take it into your local CEX if you don't want it, and they refund you.
That's good advice. Nice.
They put it on their shelf. That's the extra one.
But then at least sorry, but at least that means that the person who's buying it off the shelf can go in and say, that's got a reprinted cover, I'm not interested in it. It's not like sending it to you through the post and saying, oh, this is brand new and perfect. We haven't warned you at all.
So that, in fact, that Dexter is actually now on the shelf of Dover CEX. So I might go and take a photograph of that in a couple of days. Gary says he wants to Blu-ray hunt with Anya Taylor-Joy. Nice choice. Pete says, what is the most underrated Bruce Willis film? Hudson Hawk.
There are some that are actually poor, so you can't actually say they're underrated because everybody knows that they're not very good. But possibly the underrated one. Which is the one he did where he's a down and out like private investigator, meets up with the is it basketball player or something?
Is it 16 Blocks? Most Def. He had to protect him from being, because he was gonna, I think he was going to shout out someone at a court case, and he had to protect him as a client. That was actually a good film. I enjoyed that one. I think Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout is the one I was trying to remember, but you're absolutely right. 16 Blocks is also, but it was. I really enjoyed it when I saw that. I think I've only got the DVD, but that's not very well known by him, and it's really well done and quite exciting.
Yeah, Last Boy Scout it's definitely a good film, and it's one that gets bypassed quite a lot.
Yeah, people just don't tend to notice it much. And he's the guy who plays the basketball player or football player, isn't it? I can't remember, but he's the brother of another actor.
Yes, the two brothers. One of them was in a comedy. Well, I think he was in the Is it Wayans? One of the Wayans brothers?
It's one of the Wayans, yes.
Yeah. Legend Lewis says, been trying to find Last Night in Soho on Blu-ray with a slipcover for probably over a month now, and have had no luck whatsoever. Oh, right, okay. I can't remember if it came with a slipcover or not. I know the 4K did.
I'm afraid that I'm going to use my standard excuse of can't help you there. I bought Steelbook.
Yeah, I think really the slipcovers you only get like on the first run, don't you? And then once they've exhausted that lot, you've lost it.
Yeah,
you might be able to buy the slipcover on its own on eBay. You know, there's loads of people that sell just the slips.
Yeah. Who was it? It was saying I was being told the other day. I think it was at the meetup actually. Someone was saying that one of their local charity shops has actually started selling slipcovers because somebody actually told them that actually these go for some money, so they probably sell the slipcovers for some money and then they sell the contents totally separately to those who don't care about.
So you have to pay twice. You have to buy the Blu-ray and you have to buy the Blu-ray slipcover.
Well, so if you're interested in the slipcover, yeah. Well, I suppose they have lots and lots of people in who just want to buy the DVD or the Blu-ray, and then they have other people who will be willing to pay extra to their charity because they want the slipcover for the one they've got at home, but wouldn't buy it if it was like 10 or so many, however much it was, sort of like with the filming, because they say, well, I've already got it, I just want that bit.
Yeah. This week will forever be remembered as Pauly's rant week. Alan Cochran says, what is your favourite Clint Eastwood movie?
We'll probably still go back with Fistful of Dollars. And the ice cream truck goes past outside.
Is he going to throw an ice cream through the window?
I wish. But yeah, I think probably a fist. I do like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it obviously has that fantastic climax, and it was released in the year I was born. So I get if I get ever asked the question, what's your favourite film from the year you were born? It's The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
But apparently, the most popular film from the year I was born was Clockwork Orange, and I really didn't like that film.
No, I know you don't. No, you said I still haven't seen it. Though I've got, as you saw, I picked up the Titans of Cult.
My favourite Clint Eastwood film, I don't know. There are a lot of earlier ones that I haven't seen. I would probably say like $1 Million Baby. Or Gran Torino. I like those two.
I mean, I've seen those, but I know. But I mean, there are other ones. So many of his that I have and haven't got around to yet, like things like Flags of Our Fathers, and do they count as Clint Eastwood because he just directed them? Well, not just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one that didn't get very good reception. Was it 1518 to Paris or something?
Yeah, because he used a lot of the people that were actually in the original incident, but unfortunately, because
rather than actors,
unfortunately, that backfired in the sense of they couldn't act, and even though they all they had to do was do what they did the first time. Of course, on screen there is a difference.
Yeah. Using some good established actors, that film could have completely turned out different. You know, it could have been an Oscar winner. You never know.
Yeah. Or I mean, if you wanted to use the original people, just use them in lesser roles rather than the
They could have just been a couple of passengers sitting on the train or something.
Yeah. Or yes, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Dan says he's obsessed with the Criterion collection. Love the Criterion collection. I Want Leggett. It's an amazing short film. I believe it as inspiration for 12 Monkeys.
Ooh.
Okay. Deflame, I think that is. I've just ordered some Billy shelving from IKEA. Has anybody else used these for Blu-ray storage?
Lots of people do. Billy bookcases are, if you go online and you look at a lot of people's collections, if they're asked sort of like, where did you get that bookcase? And what is it? They will say IKEA Billy bookcase, and they do fit Blu-rays and DVDs really, really well.
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay. We have heard of it. I haven't got any myself.
Yeah,
but
I've never thought about going to IKEA to look for bookcases, but I've heard the Billy name before.
Yeah,
IKEA. I just usually buy mine from Argos. They're like £25, and it does me what I need.
Yeah.
Jimmy D-Bags. Armageddon, one of the worst films ever made. Oh, what? Michael Bay shite. No idea why Criterion ever released it. I love Armageddon. I think it's a brilliant film.
Yeah, me too. Here we are on the same page.
Jimmy, you're in the minority.
Well, in this particular room right now, Jimmy, I'm afraid yes. It was the same year, of course, or just about practically at the same time as Deep Impact came out, wasn't it? The two big Meteor films. By pure coincidence, the two scripts happened to be accepted at once.
And I always remember where I was when I saw Armageddon. It was the Odeon Leicester Square with my dad and my mum. Yeah. And about 3 rows in front of us was Alan Freeman, you know, the DJ.
Oh,
and he was watching the film. Yeah. Always remember that. Have you seen the Scott the Was video about used games? I think you'd relate to some of the points with your copy of Dexter. Oh, right. So I can see some like crap printed sleeves or some stuff like that, I should imagine. Nescafe Gold Blend. That's a good name, isn't it? I miss your reviews of sausage butties. You can only review a sausage butty once, I think. John Young says Bruce Willis's most underrated to me is The Last Man Standing. That was not a bad film, actually.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Luke says, what's really great 4K movie to buy and own and get what you say, guys. In words saying of quality picture, would you say lads and good packaging? I don't know. 4Ks, you've got to go with like Blade Runner 2049, The Revenant.
That was the first thing I was going to say. Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
That picture in quality just totally blew me away when I watched it.
It's demo material. If you ever want to show off 4K, it's demo material.
Yeah.
Maybe leave Terminator 2 to one side.
Yes. Very long way to one side.
Yeah. Avengers, the first Avengers, the 2012 one. That's a great picture quality as well. Is this red T-shirt day? Apparently, yes. Everything's red. The background's red. The text is red.
Yeah, the live bit is red. Yeah.
Behind me, I don't know if you can see. No, you can't see. I can't get down. I've got lights on behind me, and they're all lit up red.
Yeah, I was going to say, in actual fact, Paul and I actually found it quite funny in the pre-going live that we both picked red T-shirts out. So.
Yeah, it wasn't even talked about, was it? It was just coincidence.
Yeah.
Dan says, I was in CEX in Tottenham Court Road and they had pristine slip for Schindler's List in 4K. I asked if I could buy it and they said no. And they gave it to me for free. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, because some CEXs actually, if you give them a thing with the they'll bin them anyway. And other CEXs will understand it makes a difference to some people. Again, it's down to the individual shop, isn't it? It's
again, William, Blu-ray and DVD collector, he had to go at one of the staff members because he took something in to trade it, and they just threw the slip in the bin, and he had to go at them for it. So
I think if I was ever going to take anything into CEX to get money for or thing, I would actually keep the slips and only give them the thing in case they were going to just chuck it in the bin, because I couldn't.
I've done that.
I couldn't bear to, even if even if not to make particular money for myself, just to say, look, if anybody needs the slip out there, then just let me know and I'll send it to you for free or whatever, because I don't have any use for it anymore. But
that's what I've done. If I've got the 4Ks, if I've got some 4Ks I don't need, like if I've bought the Steelbook, I never take the slip in. I never give it to them with a slip cover. I just give them the 4K, and then I go through the Bounty Bunch group. Everybody, Paul and Jamie and anybody, and see if anybody needs the slip cover for it.
Yeah, and then just pop it in the post. You don't get any more money or less money whether or not it has a slip on when you hand it in anyway.
No. And it's not everybody is bothered whether or not you get a slip cover anyway. So if they sell in a 4K, they're probably going to sell it without a slip anyway. Nescafe Gold Blend says, I want another cup of coffee now. Are you not a Kubrick fan? I'm not a massive Kubrick fan. No. There are a couple that I do like, but I wouldn't say that I'm a big Kubrick fan. No.
I think I would put myself in the same ballpark as yourself. Again, sounds like I'm just agreeing with you all the time, but it's true. I wouldn't put myself as a big Kubrick fan. I think he's done some fantastic movies, but I also think there are some of his that I would watch once and probably wouldn't go.
Yeah, I mean, he may be a really great filmmaker, but it's just particular style. Maybe I don't connect with his filmmaking style. I tried to watch Eyes Wide Shut. I thought it was the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen.
It was something that I found, well, not challenging. I was surprised to hear that it was a Kubrick film. I thought from Kubrick, I was expecting something a little bit what I would consider better, because I didn't think that was much good, to be honest.
Full Metal Jacket, that's Kubrick, isn't it?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that one. I really liked that one. So there are one or two that I like, but I'm now going to drop a really big bombshell, and this is going to be huge. I've never seen 2001. I've got it. I just haven't seen it.
I've got a similar thing. Well, not similar, but I've got a different thing with 2001. I actually have seen 2001, but that's mostly because I was taken to the cinema when I was. And this shows how long ago it was. I think it was. I was going to see Herbie Rides Again. So I was about 8, something like that, and I just started getting into Doctor Who. But Herbie, this is before you could pre-book tickets and everything. Herbie had sold out. We were stood in line, and my mum turned around to me and said, "Do you want to see a different film instead?" I looked at the poster for 2001 and thought, that's science fiction. I like Doctor Who. That's science fiction. Let's go and see 2001. And my mum said, yeah, because I mean, it was age appropriate by the guidance and whatever. But obviously, totally blew my mind. I had no idea what was going on, especially with the last part of it. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm glad that in a way I'm kind of glad that I've left it to now to watch, because I can watch it in 4K and maybe with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack. So I might really like it now. But it's what do you call it? It's like a slow paced one though, isn't it? It's not a fast paced action.
No, it's very slow. And very and certain portions of it are still being explained by different people different ways. It gets very, very out there.
Yeah, I will see it. I mean, I know it's in the what flick bin, so hopefully at one point I will I will pick it out.
And again, referring back to an earlier question, I believe the 4K of that one is supposed to be one of the best quality transfers there's ever been.
Oh wow! Okay, like I say, I do own it, but I've not seen it, so that'd be good. Jimmy says Clint Eastwood films getting bummed over here in the UK with DVD only releases. Yeah, what was the last one? The last one where he was a cowboy, wasn't he? And
Cry Macho. I
Cry
watched
Macho,
it.
yeah.
I watched it about 2 weeks ago. As it happened.
Is it any good? Because I mean, he's getting on now, isn't he? What is he in his 90s? He can't be that physically.
Yeah, about 91, 90. But they do mention that he's getting old.
Yeah,
he doesn't sort of like hide the fact and turn around and pretend to be a young man or anything. But he says,
yeah.
Why do you want me to go on this trip? I'm an old man type of thing. So
yeah. Then they show some stunt man half his age just riding off into the sunset or something.
Too bad. No. I did enjoy it, and so did my wife. But she's a massive Clint Eastwood fan, and yeah, she said she really enjoyed it. And Kermit's goes comment about the fact that there are a couple of not so believable attitudes of attractiveness or attraction to him from younger women. I thought I'd get my wife's opinion on, because it's very difficult to see it from a bloke's point of view. And she said, well, though I agree to a certain extent, it would be unlikely that they would find him attractive with that sort of age difference.
Yeah.
I actually do know people who've had a similar type, well, percentage at least, of age difference, and they've gone on to get married and very happily and things. So it just depends on the person, and sometimes it's less based on the physical aspects and more on the mental aspects. I found it's a little bit odd. I think when one of them was quite so willing to, even before she got to know him, sort of like quite so willing to help him get away from the legal situation or police that were trying to get a hold of him. I mean, why would you put yourself at risk without even knowing someone? I thought that was a bit questionable. But then my other point of view would be to say that the other woman who seemed to make out that she found him attractive, I think that was more down to proving that to herself that she was still attracted to anybody, and it was more of a power play rather than an actual going for it. But yeah, the movie itself, without going any more into that, as just comment on what Kermit said in his video, the movie itself, actually, I did enjoy, and so did my wife, and it's a good movie, I think.
Slow-paced one?
Yeah, very. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, see, my dad is a massive Clint Eastwood fan, but I don't know if he would stick with it being a slow-paced film. So, I'll have to try. I'll have to try, see if my dad likes it. Jimmy says, A Clockwork Orange is a masterpiece. Sort yourself out and give it a rewatch. Maybe one day.
Or in my case, give it a watch.
As an average Criterion fan, my favourite movies are silent films from Uzbekistan in the 1890s about sexism in the novelty toe socks industry. Oh dear. Sounds very Criterion to me. Luke says, the Avatar, The Way of the Water exclusive trailer before you watch Doctor Strange was breathtaking, stunning in 3D. I absolutely can't wait for it now. it's going to be something special. Now, I watched it in 2D, but I am going to see Doctor Strange in 3D on Wednesday, so I'll get to see it in 3D anyway, the trailer. But it does look really good. I think it really does look good, even though so many years have gone by.
Yeah. I haven't seen the because I haven't seen Doctor Strange yet, so I haven't seen that trailer yet. But I was pleased to see that there was a 3D of Doctor Strange, so it's not 3D isn't utterly dead in the country.
My cinema's got 5 showings of it.
Yeah, I
so I'm really surprised.
I was looking for another film as it happens, but I did notice that my view has got Doctor Strange in 3D on quite a few of its performances, which surprised me a lot.
I think you'll find that probably it's only for like 2 or 3 days, because I looked at my ones for next week and I think it reduces right down to one showing.
Yeah.
Okay. But I think it's limited to get people to. But it's good that they're doing it, which obviously means do we get a Doctor Strange 3D release? Probably Japan.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to just pop away for 5 minutes, if that's okay.
That's all right. Yeah, you do whatever you got to do. Sean Bay presents. Are you a fan of the Psycho movies? It would be great to see the sequels come to Blu-ray in the UK. The first film, yes. I must admit, I have never seen any of the other films. I'm thinking, is it like Jaws? You know, you get a good first film, you get a moderately good second film, but then the rest is shit. It's probably the same. Hello, Sophie. Sophie's here. Best way to reorganize a large movie collection. I had thought about that to start with. Do I do it in alphabetical order? Do I do it in actor order? Director order? I mean, actor order would have been good. I did, in the end, decide to just do it in all alphabetical. The 4Ks, the 4Ks are alphabetical, but I've put like all the Batmans together, all the Terminators together. So yeah, I've got it into different ways, different formations. Hello, Evander. How you doing? What's your favourite film with hidden meaning and deep? Oh God, with a hidden meaning and a deep theme. I don't know. I really don't know. Richard says, "Surprised you both picked a red shirt, being Star Trek fan." Oh no, we're not going to be eliminated. We're not going to find ourselves in the clutches of some monster and have our heads ripped off. It was just coincidence, Richard. Gravesend CEX had a bin full of slips once, so I asked to fish through it and got about 5 or so. That's not a bad idea, actually, that having a slip bin. That's a pretty good idea, actually. I don't know if I'll trust CEX with it, but maybe they could do that and just take all the slips off all the media and just shove them all in one big bin. It's an idea. Luke is talking movies. Have you seen the trailer for Bullet Train with Brad Pitt? Looks quite good. If you have, are you looking forward to it? I don't think I've seen that trailer. No. I thought you'd gone off to change your T-shirt.
I considered it, but that would have stopped us being nice and red. So I can't find it. But yes, I've had to sort of like pop off quickly a couple of times in live streams. I'm thinking now maybe I should get myself a little sign so I can hang it up to say to be back in 5 minutes behind me.
Or have one of those test cards.
Yeah.
Kermit says,
picture of me with a noughts and crosses game and
yeah. Kermit says, just drop in my daughter home. Damn, I've missed a lot. Good evening to you, to Alan, as well. You could always go back and watch it from the start, eh?
Alan, Alan, you said you were going to set an alarm to make sure you didn't miss it.
Oh, did you get your alarm? Did the batteries run out?
But anyway, thanks for turning up, being here. It was great to see you, obviously, Alan, as well. So I can't say enough like how great it was to see you at last when we did that meetup.
I've still yet to meet Alan. I think it was a year or 2 years ago. He actually came down to Canterbury. That's literally like 13 miles from me. So I didn't know at the time he was coming down this way. Otherwise, I definitely would have gone over there to see him. But hopefully one day we'll get to meet, and he can show me around Brighton. And I think he was going to take me up the alley as well. The Quadrophenia alley.
Yeah, I'd love to go over to Brighton and do and have meet up again. Unfortunately, the only time I went over to Brighton, and that was quite recently, I would have gone round, but it was my wife's graduation ceremony, so it's a little bit inappropriate to say let's go and meet a YouTuber and talk about films.
Yeah, maybe Brighton might be a good idea for a meetup, because that CEX, that HMV that Alan goes in looks huge. So I think we could do some good Blu-ray hunting in Brighton.
And also he knows the manager, and nobody minds us anybody filming, so that's nice.
Yeah. And I'm sure they've got the CEX and the charity shops, and spend a couple of days there would be a good idea to do some sightseeing and stuff.
Yeah, well, let's face it, Alan could be our guide for every single historical thing that ever happened in Brighton.
Yeah, that would be good, yeah. Dan says, I love the movie Almost Famous. Yeah, I watched that recently. Always been aware of its existence since I was about 7 or 8, but I'm glad I waited until 20 to watch it, as I really enjoyed it. If I saw it as a kid, I would have been like, nah, that's boring. I'm glad I've seen it now, actually. Yeah, because I knew of its existence for quite a while, but I wasn't really interested. And then I just decided to give it a go, and I really enjoyed it. You said it?
Not me.
Almost Famous. I did that on one of my reviews. It's I got the HMV one. It's about a young kid that writes for Rolling Stone magazine and follows this fictitious band around.
Well, sounds like something that I might be interested in giving a watch.
It's good, solid 70s rock in it. So it's got a really good soundtrack. Stillwater, the name of the band.
Oh, right, that sounds good.
Yeah, it's part road trip as well, because he goes with them on the bus, on the tour. So it's a really good film.
Oh, right. Okay, I shall look out your review.
Loving the top, Justin. Looking forward to Jurassic World 3. Can't wait for it to come out in the cinema. Yeah, I know. I think that's going to be a good one. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it.
So yeah, I know that the second one did receive a lot of criticism and stuff, but my argument would be that you can't really just have 6 films about them keeping going back to an island. I mean, even though it would be fun, you can't have 6 films about them going back to an island and there's only dinosaurs on the island and that's all that ever happens and there's a new adventure each time. It's more like a TV series. They had to do something that gave them more scope for what to do in the future. Now, whether or not they did it particularly well with how they did it, I totally accept that a lot of people, I think even you've made the comment that you didn't particularly get on with the second half of the movie on how they got around
I preferred the first half. The first half was really good. Yeah. Like the first hour.
But
I wouldn't say it was bad. I wouldn't say the last half was bad. It was just very different, and
I think
it must be really difficult to try and know what to do with it next.
I thought that the first half was great for everybody who knew what to expect. And the second half was very much a case of, right, we're going to be setting up the next film because we have to work out a way of dinosaurs escaping into the real world, normal world, and all that.
Yeah.
And in actual fact, if you at the other part of the plot, and sorry for quick spoiler alert in case anybody hasn't seen it, about the fact, of course, that they theoretically they introduced the idea of cloning and genetic human beings and that sort of thing. So they could almost go down, if they wanted to, they could almost go down the replicant Blade Runner type routes of sort of like trying to put out a question there of sort of like what defines humanity. Is it? It's. But I dare say they're going to go down that there are lots of big monsters route.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the new one because, you know, with the original cast, I think it's going to have a sprinkling of the Lost World, you know, because you're finally getting dinosaurs running around the streets, and so that could be quite interesting. But I think it's going to be a good one. I think they're going to make sure it goes out on a high because I don't know if there'll be any more.
And as long as Blue comes back, everything's good by me.
Jimmy says Richard Jewell is a great true-to-life inspired Clint Eastwood film that only got a UK DVD release. Yeah, I watched that one with Papa Bowman. We both enjoyed that one. That was really good.
I've not heard of that. Richard Jewell?
Richard Jewell it's called, yeah. It's about like a security guard that works at like was it a football game? I think American football game. And it was like a potential bomb threat. A package was left. And the authorities went after him thinking that he was the person that left the bomb. It's really good. It's a really good film. Quite a grippy film.
Well, like I said, I have more Clint Eastwood movies than any other actor because I like him. My wife's a massive, massive fan, etc. So the fact that there's one there that I've never heard of, and I'm sure that will mean that my wife hasn't seen it or heard of it either. That's something that'd be a nice present for us on an upcoming event.
Yeah, it's one of the latest ones. I think it's only like 3 films back, so it's a very recent one.
Yeah, I can't remember. Well, it's one before Cry Macho. I can't remember. I think I've got it. I can't remember.
It might have been Richard Jewell actually before Cry Macho. It could have been, or the one before that. Richard Ashbury says, "Hi Paul, I hope you're keeping well. Being I live in Canterbury, I walked into town this morning to have a second look at HMV. Got to say I prefer the old premises. 4K movies selection is small. Yeah, absolutely. Although the new store is spread out more, you lose a lot of media. You use a hell of a lot of media. It's gone. It's like a third of it is now gone, and even like the 101 film section is just like one shelf now, rather than a whole aisle. So I mean, I've still been able to find the newer titles. It's just they use the space now for everything else, from the foods to pop vinyl figures and records, but only a little bit of it now. That's what I was thinking about the one in Maryhill, because the one in Maryhill's just moved. I don't think it's opened yet, but they might be decreasing the media in that one as well. I think they're trying to cater for everybody, but it's a shame.
Yeah. I mean, years ago when I first moved down here, Portsmouth had 2 HMVs. One was absolutely huge and on 2 levels. And then when they went bust, that one was the one that closed, and they left the one down by the other one that was down by the outlet stores. And it got taken. I think that the original one got taken over by. Well, it was sold off. It was so big that, in actual fact, it's now 2 different shops. They split it down the middle, and I think one half originally turned into somewhere that sells butt plugs. Let's face it.
I think probably Alan's HMV in Brighton is probably closer to like our Blue Water one, because they've got more emphasis on the physical media and less on toys and pop vinyl figures. They're all like shoved over on the walls, but most of it is the physical media in that store.
Yeah, oh, that's good. Because the trouble is, the second one stayed open when it closed down a second. It went bust a second time. It stayed open. It was one of the few stores that did. But then, something like 6 months later, when the lease was up for renewal, obviously they went into their tactic of, right, we're not paying that much. We're leaving the area if you don't reduce your prices. And this particular time, their bluff was called, so they did close down the shop. Luckily, about a year later or so, they did open another one, which is near to the CEX, which helps. But unfortunately, it's not near to the cinema. So
yeah.
I used to enjoy going down to the cinema, and if I arrived early or something, I'd go around HMV first, or go around after the cinema if it's still open, that sort of thing. Because I like you, I like going during the day when there's less people possible. Yeah. But the new HMV is further away and is much smaller. I haven't even seen a single bargain bin in it. It's that small.
No, the one in Canterbury didn't have anything in the sale last week or the week before when I went. The HMV that I used to go in all the time, Westwood Cross near Margate, that shut up because the landlords were asking too much rent and they just couldn't negotiate with them, so they had to close the store in the end. And that was one of my favourite places to go. I knew all the staff in there. They had no problem with me filming. I even talked to them sometimes on camera. And that one, when they announced that one was closing, they gave a last date, which I was going to go down there on the last day and say goodbye and everything. But that interacted with me passing out and going to hospital. So I never did get down there to say goodbye to them.
These things are sent to sort of like bad timing happens, unfortunately. And yeah.
But it's a shame that store went because I loved going in that store. Butt plugs has got to go now. Bye. Kermit says, still a good movie, and anything Clint puts out, I will buy and watch. He's earned my trust, putting out decades of brilliant material.
I could not agree more, as usual, with Alan.
Yeah, we've heard about that unfortunate news of Dennis Waterman.
Yeah.
Luke says a new Bruce Willis movie has just come on Sky Cinema. It's called Deadlock. Would you be watching it at some point? I don't know. I might do.
Probably, but let's face it, the new Bruce Willis movies are, they're there to. It's a very, from what I hear
it's a payday.
It's up here on social media. Yeah, it's him trying to get money for his family because he knows he's got medical difficulties.
Yeah.
Which is why he sort of like phones in his performances where he used to be a real star, and he's only in some of his films with his name on the front for a few minutes. Which is
really it's kind of misleading, but then again, I can appreciate what he's doing, and I can see from his point of view. And if you can get a good payday just by putting your name on it, then why not? It doesn't mean that necessarily the film's going to be shit. Most cases they usually are not that good, but it's still a Bruce Willis film, really. But it's just not Bruce Willis.
What was it with whichever the Jaws films in with Michael Caine? He was actually
4, wasn't it?
It's on the Michael Parkinson show, being interviewed, and was asked about why did he do such a film that was so bad, and this, that, and the other. He said, "I've heard it's really bad. I but I've never actually watched it myself. However, it did pay for a house in Florida. So,
yeah, yeah. Why not?
Michael Caine's I think he's quite famous, for example, for turning around and going, "I'm quite willing to admit I took the money for this one."
And I think that's also what Nicolas Cage has been doing. I think he's had money trouble, but
yeah,
I think with the new one, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, that's his kind of like getting back into the cinema, I hope, and getting the bigger roles.
Yeah, I hope so. Is that one that's been announced as available to buy yet, or?
It's up for pre-order. There's a steelbook for it announced, but I think the 4K and the Blu-ray is up for pre-order.
I think I might have pre-ordered it already, but I can't remember which version I went for.
I've got to admit, it's one of the most fun Nicolas Cage films I've seen in years.
I haven't seen it, but I looked at the description and I went, I'm going to like that.
Yeah, some really good performances as well.
Yeah, and I like Nick Cage. My missus doesn't, but I do. So.
Kermit says, if a collection is alphabetical, it makes a film much easier to find. I found that out on several occasions, Alan. Yeah, straight to the shelf. I knew exactly what shelf that it was on, and I knew roughly whereabouts on the shelf it was.
Yeah,
so, definitely.
That is the way I do mine. Apart from things like if I've got a series of films that don't have the same letter to start with, like Lord of the Rings or something like that, then I'll still put them under L or Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, or you can have separate sections. You know, like the HMV premiums. Alan's got them all together rather than in the movie title.
The only section I'm trying to separate out at the moment is because I never used to have much or any anime stuff, but now I've got quite a lot. I was going to have a separate section for that because it's quite a lot easier for me to go, oh, it's an anime title. I can tell I know that before I even go there. So I might as well have a separate portion of the shelf.
Yeah, I've put all my Studio Ghiblis all together. Just keep it all together. They've all got the same type of artwork and on the sides and that.
Yeah.
Kermit says, I went into a charity shop a few weeks ago and they were selling slips separately in the charity shop.
It must have been Kermit that told me about it on our meetup. Because that's what I said earlier in the video about a charity shop, and I couldn't remember who told me, whether or not it was Jamie or James, or whether it was Kermit.
Rock and roll hell. Good afternoon. What is this? Cazelle, what? Secular monk. If you were an actor, which career would you want? John Cazale, Fredo in Godfather, or Fredo, only in 5 movies for entire filmography, or Robert De Niro? I think I'd rather be Robert De Niro. He's had a longer career.
Robert, yeah. And he gets a lot more. He gets a lot more people coming up and saying, "Oh, you're an Oscar winner," and I'd like to be.
Changing the subject. According to Alan, I'm not real. Apparently, I'm a CGI character produced by Kent Council to attract tourists.
I think Alan's and then again, Alan is, if I hadn't met him, I'd have just said he's a CGI character there to get people to look at the historic locations in Brighton.
Yeah, it's like the new encyclopedia of Brighton or something. The monkey, hello. Yes, I am interested in Moon Knight. It's the the Marvel show. I'm watching it at the moment. I've got 2 episodes left to see, but I'm sure Justin hasn't seen it. I'm sure he will be seeing it some other way.
I might from now.
Jimmy says charity shops are getting worse and worse for price gouging. We should have never taught old folks how to use the internet.
I get
British Art
the point.
Foundation.
Yeah. Yes, I have noticed that sometimes that they're now very much a case of, whereas it used to be a case of, oh well, everything's a quid, and sometimes now you'll get somebody behind the counter going, or you actually hear them turning to the other person and say, we can't put that out for a quid. I've seen it go for 10 quid on, or 20 quid on eBay.
And apparently someone actually did tell me that they do actually look on the internet for prices on eBay to see what they went for. That's how they do the pricing structure.
All right.
I was lucky to get that Band of Brothers tin though. That was sealed. I wouldn't normally pay. Yeah, I wouldn't normally pay £10 for a Blu-ray or a box set in a charity shop, but it's only because it was brand new factory sealed that I thought I'd snap that up. I looked on eBay, I looked on all the other shops. It was all out of print. But British Art Foundation is the worst for pricing, definitely.
So I've noticed. Yeah.
The monkey says, "Have you been back to that restaurant that didn't have more than 2 people working?" Greg's, you mean? No, not yet, but I'll probably pop in there in a couple of weeks' time. Secular Monk says, I have the almost famous 4K steelbook when it was released in the US. The cool thing about the 4K is that it has the director's cut. I watched the extended cut, the director's cut on it, so I don't know what's been cut out on the normal version. Retro girls are here. Hello. Why are you both wearing red shirts? Hopefully we're not going to get killed on Star Trek, because that would be bad. Coincidence. I hope you're both enjoying your holiday. What's the next film you're watching at the cinema? What would be the next film for you, Justin?
I have my. It's very unlikely that I'll get an extra one in before it, and I now do have pre-booked tickets for Top Gun Maverick, and since Top Gun is the film I have watched most times in my life of all films, probably something like 5 times at cinema, and I rarely see a film more than once. When I actually did watch it, one of the times I had totally forgotten the fact I was supposed to be at a university lecture at the time.
They're actually showing the new Top Gun at my Ashford CEX 6 days before it goes on national release.
Yeah,
it's like an IMAX charity thing.
You didn't mean CEX, did you?
Did I say CEX? Cineworld. Yeah.
Did you mean IMAX? That's what I think.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I don't know what I mean. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah, the IMAX Cineworld. Apparently, I've heard that they're putting a trailer for the new Mission Impossible at the beginning of Top Gun, so that should be good.
Yes, I hear that too. I surprisingly enough, I watch things on your Facebook, so I've heard that too.
Oh, I'm glad someone does.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't think too many people will be surprised to hear it, but I have. I've got the T-shirt lined up and ready for Top Gun. Now, I'm not talking one of the Top Gun T-shirts with the F-14 or the whatever on the front. I actually have got a brand new one with an F-18 Top Gun, because that's specifically for this movie. I'm that much of a total nutter.
I didn't answer my question about what's the next film I'm gonna be going to see. It's Everything. Was it Everything Everywhere All at Once? I think it's called. The new Michelle Yeoh film. It's supposed to be wacky, a cross between like The Matrix and Doctor Strange. So it looks really good. I think it's out next week.
I'll put it on my list. I've heard some good things about it, but I really have had no idea what it's about or anything.
Yeah, It's had some
I
really
mean,
good reviews. Yeah.
I've still got Doctor Strange to see and stuff like that. So that'll be probably my next trip if I get a chance to get down any other time, because the normal, then yeah, that'll probably be my next one after Top Gun Maverick.
Are you still confident in your 2-year remaining of physical media prediction? I think that was taken a little bit out of context, because I read after I said it, I read that that's what I was saying, the end of physical media in 2 years. But in fact, what I meant was probably the end of physical media retail in stores in 2 years, but then everything else online. I could be wrong. I mean, HMV could still be going around in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, but that's just what I thought because of the decline.
My personal thought would be not necessarily quite as negative as yourself, but I can certainly see HMV being one of the few places left that has any physical media, and we've already seen it come out of the supermarkets and whatnot, because it's becoming too specialized.
I've even been in a few charity shops and they've said that they've stopped selling physical media now.
Really? Gosh,
because they can't shift them.
That is a surprise, because I remember going in and I remember going into charity shops when they suddenly started turning around and saying, we no longer accept VHS because they're not selling anymore.
Yeah.
But it does kind of surprise me that nothing's happening. You'd have thought that they'd have sold a little bit of physical media.
I hope. I mean, with HMV and the bloke that took it over, and he's promised to open 10 new stores, which new stores have opened. You can see that in places that have been closed for like 5 or 6 years. So there is a want for it. If they reduce the physical media and get rid of it altogether, I don't know what kind of a store it's going to be. It's just going to be like a version of Mankind selling all sorts of gadgets and pop vinyl figures, and I don't think that would sustain the company. So physically, physical media, I think HMV still will sell it.
I think that HMV will, as long as they survive, I think HMV will keep on selling physical media, if for no other reason than the guy who took them over is, I think I'm pretty confident, is a massive vinyl fan. And
so my dad's shouting up the stairs. Yeah, I won't be long.
It's sort of like if they're going to keep on selling vinyl, I can't see them getting rid of Blu-ray.
Yeah. I mean, CX are going to be selling any old shit for the next 10 years anyway, so there'll still be physical media in CX.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Well, we've done 2 hours. I don't know if you're good to stop, even though we've got quite a few comments.
I'm okay. I'm okay to go on a bit. Don't forget, I missed 5 or 10 minutes whilst I had to pop out. So if you want to go on for a little bit, then please do.
Yeah. Okay.
If you're okay with it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I normally have my tablets at 6 o'clock, but that's perfectly fine. My dad just shouted up the stairs that my chips are ready. So 5 minutes time, he's probably
much longer.
He's going to walk through that door with a plate of chips. So.
Yeah, my tablets aren't until 9:30. That goes to show what we're like.
Carl Amos, hi both. What are your memories of old cinemas from years gone by? For example, ushers showing you to your seat. They never did that with me. I do remember Butterkiss, Rah, 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 and the little sweet thing at the front of the cinema, with your Kiora drinks and that.
Yeah, I remember the Kiora ads, which would not be politically acceptable nowadays, I imagine. But you just
maybe I'll look on YouTube.
it's too orangey for crows. It's just for me and my dog. Like, because it sort of like implied that the crow was sort of like a black person following them, and I don't know, but yeah, it wouldn't go down so well nowadays. I don't think. But,
I do remember Saturday morning pictures. You know, you would get like cartoons, then you would 3 or 4 cartoons, then you would get another film, a half an hour program, then you'd get the major film.
I remember sort of. I certainly remember when you got more than one. Almost always, you got more than one film per showing. You got like a short film, and then you got the main feature. I remember when I went to see. Oh gosh, thinking back when I went to see The Hitcher, there was this film about a short film about sort of like the person getting picked up who was also hitchhiking, sort of like by someone with much too hairy hands for being the woman they appeared to be, sort of thing. And that was and there was a very weird like sequence in that. That was obviously sort of like a little independent film that.
I think also back in the day, you could go into a film halfway through it and stay in there and then watch the beginning of it on the next showing.
Yeah,
my mum always talked about that.
Yeah. That was I definitely a couple of times back in the day. I think I missed the first couple of minutes and waited around just to see what I caught up on. I didn't want to go in halfway through and not know what was going on. But if I went in a couple of minutes late, I would watch the first couple of minutes before going out again.
Of course, that would be terrible now, trying to do that, because just imagine you went in like 10 minutes before the end of Sixth Sense or something, or the end of Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I still try to avoid that.
Also remember tickets.
Also, do you remember, of course, sometimes, especially on long films, you did used to occasionally get that interval halfway through, when you were halfway through the film. Yeah. And you used to come around selling ice creams.
Yeah, and the curtains would close.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I didn't think that didn't happen for a long. It did happen quite regularly. Then it didn't happen again until Dances with Wolves, because Dances with Wolves was so long, they decided to reintroduce it to our local cinema.
Yeah, I went to see Titanic and they had an interval in it as well. At my little local one, but yeah, the tickets when I used to go when I was a kid, they were like the card ones, like train tickets, and they would clip them, clip a hole through them or something, rather than just printing it out. Now there is a cinema not far from me in Faversham. It's an old retro cinema that's been made to look like it's from the 20s, and even now an organ comes up through the floor and someone's playing
lovely. It. Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, Lulu and Claire have been to it several times.
Yeah, I mean, I don't say I miss the fact that the old cinemas didn't used to have tiered seating, so if you happen to end up with a tall person in front of you, like you couldn't see the screen and this that, and the other.
That was
I remember the first time I went to America and going to a cinema in America, and I was going, flipping hell, this tiered seating thing is fantastic. Why don't we have it over in our country? Luckily, about 3 or 4 years later, they introduced it.
The worst case for that was the Odeon West End, the one at the bottom of where the Odeon Leicester Square is, and the one at the bottom of the Leicester Square. That one was on flat seating, so yeah, you're like trying to see what's going on the screen. I think they've rectified it now. They've redone it now, but it was terrible at the time. I saw Con Air in there.
And I'll tell you one thing that anybody who has gone back to the cinemas in those days will remember.
There is a woman in my office that keeps humming that.
That's earworm for everybody that's been watching.
Yeah, you can't beat that. I think you can actually find that whole thing on YouTube. So just play YouTube before you put a film on. It'd be just like being back at the cinema.
Oh, I like it.
Deflame hide the monk. Oh, sorry, he's talking to someone else. Phantom cows.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. Oh god, here comes me chips.
Why they're old.
Oh. I got chips with ketchup. I'm making Justin hungry now. I can confirm Kermit is an animatronic character made to lure people to Brighton.
Oh, not true. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I did get me when I met Alan. It's like, because when he's doing his videos, he's obviously shooting forward, and then he overdubs them. And when he does himself in his cinema room, he's sat down. You don't realise how tall he is.
Is he really? You don't get that tall on screen.
6'3".
It was the same when I met Pete. You know, Blu-ray Bullet Brit. I was like,
he's about 6'7", isn't he? Yeah.
And James Millership. I thought James was like 5'2". He's massive.
Yeah.
Are you getting Johnny Mnemonic tomorrow? I have the German extended version, so I won't be getting it. I don't know. Do you know what? I've only ever seen that film once, and it must have been on release. I don't remember much about it.
I'm a bit of a fan. I know that his performance in Johnny Mnemonic was quite widely criticised as being a bit flat, but then again, I would argue that on the principle he was supposed to be playing someone with part of his brain removed, there was a good reason for his performance to be not particularly sort of emotional, shall we say. Personally, I'm a big fan of that film because I'm a big fan of cyberpunky and near future, that type of stuff. But again, no, I'm not going to be getting that one immediately, certainly, because I have the German turbine. When I say steelbook, I think actually it's a future pack, but it's still sort of like case release.
Yeah,
so,
I might wait for the price to come down.
Yeah, I think that's sensible.
Jimmy says British Heart Foundation and Oxfam are the biggest culprits for price gauging at the moment. Shameless behaviour for something you got given for free. I mean, I can see it from that point of view, but then again, like everyone says, they're just trying to make as much money as they can for the charity.
Yeah, I totally agree with both points of view. Yes, they put things up at more than what I think is realistic, but at the same time, if that money is going to a good cause, then who's to say why not make as much money as you can? I mean, lots of corporate companies make as much money as they can and overcharge you, and they're just making it for themselves. So at least if a charity shop is doing it, you think to yourself, they're making it for a good reason. They still, even though it's reduced rent for a charity shop, which is why they appear in the high street so often.
As opposed to like CEX, that were charging like £400 for a Doctor Who steelbook.
Yeah, if that's going to be the season 10 steelbook of the new series, is it?
I think it's 3. I think it's either series 2 or 3.
Really?
Is it the one with? I think it's the one with. No, hang on a minute. Who's on the cover? Maybe I think it's Peter Capaldi on the cover.
Yeah,
so it would be the later one, wouldn't it?
Yes, it's the one that only Amazon got a limited edition release of, and it's almost impossible to get. It's the only steelbook I don't have. Who
wants to go back in time and buy about 10 of them?
Yeah, hands up, me. But yeah, I mean, I know that season 1 and 2 and 3 all do go for around about the 100 odd or 150 odd pound mark now.
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
I've still got them. I've still got them sealed because I bought them new at the time they
Wow.
released. So
That's your retirement there.
yeah, I have thought about that, considering I have them. I think a lot of them I can watch on like the DVDs that I was getting at the same time, or on the Blu-rays that I replaced with the steelbooks, because I happen to like the steelbooks. And I was trying to collect them all because I wanted them more narrow for the shelf. Yeah, so I can watch them on Blu-ray without opening up the steelbook.
Without opening them, yeah. That's
Yeah.
really what people said that I should have done with the Blue fans. That I should have kept them sealed and just bought the regular edition, because some of those Blue fans editions are going for a couple of £100 now.
Yeah, you never know what's going to go up. No. I never buy deliberately for trying to make a profit. And
no, it's nice to know that it's worth that.
Yeah, exactly. And with eBay nowadays taking such a huge percentage, and then they gouge you again for like the PayPal percentage, the eBay percentage. Then they charge you for even using eBay on top of that at the end of the month. When no wonder sort of like prices are so high on eBay, because if you sell something for 50 quid, you're only going to get about 30 by the end of it at this rate, especially by the time you've been to the post office and also risk the complaint and somebody saying, well, I never got it, so you have to send it recorded or something like that.
Yeah,
it's so much worse since the ownership of eBay changed.
If it's a box set or if it's a steelbook or a couple of steelbooks, then I send in them either recorded or next day delivery. I really can't trust the post to just expect them to be delivered and then someone to say, oh, this is very nice. You're going to get a message back saying it never arrived, I want a refund.
Yeah, I've been lucky so far, but I haven't, apart from, I'll do exactly the same with more expensive items, but the second it goes above £18, that they cover automatically with, as long as you've got a proof of postage type of thing.
Yeah.
Then no, I'm not selling. And the trouble is, around about £18, you're only going to make 10, and you probably spent 15 on it in the first place. So you're not really making any profit anymore. So it's so much more difficult to say what's the point in buying these things or selling these things. When work was actually you went into the office rather than working from home, I was just about on the point of putting up a big list on the wall saying stuff like, these are all the DVDs and Blu-rays if you want to buy them off me, cheap, 50p for DVD, whatever.
Yeah.
But obviously nobody would get to see the notice board at work anymore.
Do you are you working permanently now from home, or do you have any intention of going back to the office?
I did start going into the office 1 or 2 days a week, but then I hit COVID, and because I need to sleep in the afternoons or sleep in the mornings or extra sleep type of thing. Luckily I work for a big company where occupational health and unions have a strong say if you get mistreated, and occupational health have turned around and said you can claim half the day as phased return to work and we'll still pay you full time. So I'm very, very lucky to, like I say, work for a company like that.
Yeah, I mean, we had I can't remember what it's called. What do they call it? What do they call it when you was off?
Furlough?
Furlough, that's it. Yeah, we had furlough. I was off, with furlough, but when that came to an end, even now, if we get COVID and we have to take time off, if we haven't got any sick leave, then we lose money. We don't get paid for it, which is probably the same with many places.
Most places, yeah. I'm really, really, really lucky in the sense that my contract with the company says that I can take a whole year sick and still get paid full time, as long as a doctor says I'm.
Yeah. A year? Oh my God! Do you know how many we get? 5 days sick a year.
Yeah, I've actually I did actually when I had my brain tumor, luckily benign. Though some people say, must be a bit loco. Yeah, I was off for something like 9 to 10 months, and still got paid full time.
Wow.
So I know that I'm not having a go or trying to show off or anything. I'm just saying I know that I'm very, very lucky to be in that situation.
Yeah, very fortunate.
I signed the contract back in nowadays. Even the best contracts in my company only allow up to 6 months. So I'm very, very lucky to have signed it so early that it's like people who started final salary pensions type thing before early enough that companies don't offer them anymore.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I'm in my work, my company stakeholder pension, and the company matches whatever I put in. So it's a good £180 a month that goes into the pension. So it's better than not having one.
Certainly is.
They said vinyl was dead years ago. Vinyl is still here and sales are up. Yeah, so who's to say that
vinyl's
not going to happen again
now.
Really? Oh my God! And some of the prices are not cheap, are they? I've seen vinyl for like 40 quid.
Yeah, vinyl. If you want the CD, you can get it for a tenner. If you want the vinyl, it's usually 25.
Yeah, it's collectors, isn't it? It's a collector's item and everything.
Yeah.
Kermit says, I remember when you can smoke in the cinema.
Yeah, I do remember being able to smoke in the cinema. Luckily I didn't smoke, and I wasn't old enough when that was the time. But I also remember them saying that, like, when people started to get a bit big about smoking, they said stuff like, okay, the right hand side of the aisle, you're allowed to smoke. The left hand side of the aisle, you're not allowed to smoke. As though the smoke actually wouldn't drift. As though
wouldn't drift over the air.
It would have to stay in the same place.
Right, okay, we're just getting on to 6:30.
Gosh, yeah.
Justin, I can see that you're starting to break up.
Alan,
but I just want to put this one up here as a last comment from Alan. Justin's on 193 subscribers. Let's get him to 200. So anybody in the comments that's not subscribed to BluJustin, go and subscribe.
Thank you very much indeed for pointing that out, Alan. I must admit, I have gone up from, what was it, 160 when you made a comment on your channel. I noticed I got to 186. I didn't realise I'd got into the 190s now. So, and I do, I do check my channel. Yeah, but thank you very, very much for everybody who's put my name forward. That's been really helpful. Actually, when I popped onto your live stream, the sort of like last minute live stream last week or the week before something, Paul, that shot my subscribers up the following day as well. So thank you.
You'll go and check in a minute and you'll be on a 500 or something. Not like Alan, who's on 15 million.
Yeah, he won't tell me how many he's got.
No, he's out subbing all of us.
I did ask. I said, on the QT, can you tell me? And he was very like, I don't check, and I don't tell it. And Jamie Powell was saying, I asked him that as well. He won't tell me either.
It's a secret. Yes.
It's a secret. And I respect that. If he doesn't want to tell anybody,
doesn't have to show it.
No, of course not. Absolutely right. No.
And I'll get the view. I'll get my words out in a minute. Subscribers are good. You know, it's great to have subscribers, but it is the view count that counts, and it's you know, you making great videos and people watching them that really counts.
Yes, I try to, but I do, and and ever since, even just since Alan, again, thank you for mentioning the fact that we'd all met up, even though I haven't done the video properly yet, editing it. On my last two haul videos, my regular haul videos normally got about 35 to 40 views on average, that sort of thing. And the last two have got somewhere in the region of 60 to 70. So my watches have actually practically doubled since it's been mentioned that I was mentioned on your channel, Alan. So thank you ever so much. I do appreciate it, sending people my way. I know that I'm not necessarily the perfect person for everybody, but I try to produce content that people will like, and you know, that's all you can do, really.
Yes.
And as every single person at the meetup agreed, the only thing you can really do is be yourself. Don't try to be something. Don't try to be something you're not to get viewers or something. Be yourself, and if people like you, they'll see that you're genuine.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we found that for everybody that we've met. You know, everybody I met on the Birmingham meet is exactly as they are on video. So there's nothing different. Yes,
and we sympathise with Katie after meeting up, because apparently, yes, Jamie's like that all the time. mad as a box of frogs.
Yeah, good. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Justin. It's been a pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure to be on, and thank you everybody for watching. I will try to get my video out tomorrow, but I cannot make promises. I've had a really kind of poorly weekend, I'm afraid, so I'm a bit behind.
Your video will be up when it's up. I'm sure people are not going to go anywhere. They'll be still here waiting for them.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you.
Lovely.
Yeah, and you're welcome to come on anytime you want. So just let me know if you want to come on the stream anytime you want. And if you, like I say, if you haven't subscribed to Justin, go to BluJustin and subscribe and get his count over 200. I'm sure it's probably over 200 now anyway, just with Kermit's mention.
That's BluJustin beginning with a B, isn't it?
Yes, BLU and then Justin.
Private joke between me and Paul.
So thank you again, and thanks everybody for coming and chatting and us missing a few of your messages because of stupid Streamland or StreamYard. But until the next one, then bye bye everybody, and have a good week.
Thank you everybody. Goodbye. Thanks ever so much for watching.